Yeah, Andrew did a podcast with Peter in my garage, and it was all impromptu, and now I know exactly how he was feeling.
Under the gun, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what to say.
Well, you don't need to know what to say, because here on my show, I will ask the questions, and then you can just answer those. Welcome, guys. We're here day 2 at the AIM Expo in Las Vegas, and I am joined by Andrew. So welcome to my show, Badbeard, the host of said show, still hanging out, running around, and learning from all these folks. And so Mr. Campo sent you over, said you have some interesting stories, a great guy,
Right.
and tied to this incredible book, Motorcycle Traveler. So before we get into this, why don't you, into this camera, introduce yourself, man. Who are you?
Yeah, my name's James Henderson, and Peter Starr was a personal friend. I would say he's my best friend. He recently passed away, and he was living with me the last year and a half of his life. And yeah, it's just been an emotional journey, just trying to bring this book to the people, get it in the hands of the people. And what happened is he had a deal with Kawasaki to distribute this. He went to 12 different countries in 6 years, and he documented in this book, Motorcycle Traveler. He did it on the cover of it, he's on a ZX-10, and it's just an amazing story. But
Well, how long is this book in the making?
it was 6 years.
6 years.
6 years to do this book, and so he had a deal with Kawasaki to distribute it to all the Kawasaki dealers in the United States. Yeah. Since he passed away, everything kind of fell through the crash, and they gave us the option to either they would dispose of them, which, you know, he told Peter's nephew, yeah, we can shred them. And it's like, are you joking? This is like, you know, I'm being punked here. So what we've done is Adam and Cinnamon, who run the show,
Yeah.
I just started going through all my phone. It's like, who's going to help me? Anybody
Yeah.
with a warehouse? Anybody with a forklift? Anybody with a truck? So I ran across Adam's number, and I called him up, and I said, hey, is there a possibility that you could help me with this, distributing these books? And he's like, I don't know what I can do, man.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, he said, yeah, we've got a couple pallets here, and you can, you know, get donations or whatever you need to do. And that's what we're doing. We're here trying to just keep his memory alive through handing these books out. And, you know, it's a really good there's a lot of energy here. And a really good
It's a
vibe.
fun show.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Well, so
yeah.
give me a little background on Peter Starr.
Okay, Peter Starr, he came to America as a radio disc jockey.
Okay.
So in the 60s, that's how he got his name, Peter Starr, because they told him that...
Sounds like a DJ.
Yeah, it sounded like his real name is Graham William Wallace. So William Wallace was
Also
Braveheart.
sounds like no kidding.
Yeah, so for years he kind of thought he was related in some way, but no, that wasn't to be. But in the 60s, rock and roll disc jockey, so they said, you got to change your name. And so he thought about Peter Noon from The Animals, and then and Starr was Ringo Starr. So with 2 R's.
Yeah.
So he became Peter Starr.
Yeah.
But, you know, personal friends with Eric Clapton, you know, Peter Townsend, he told me multiple stories. I mean, we drove across country one time from California to Colorado, my home here in Colorado. And he was telling me all these incredible stories, and I said, you need to write an autobiography, right? And he actually did. He pulled it off, and that book hasn't come out yet, but some of the stories, you know, just hanging out with Jimmy Page in Vancouver.
Big music background.
Yeah, really big. And then, but he was a motorcycle racer at heart. You know, he did the 24 hours at Barcelona. So he worked for Triumph Motorcycles, and yeah, he's just an incredible history. So anyway, I miss him. He passed away on July 3rd. At my home.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that was in Colorado.
That was in Colorado.
What did he pass from?
Well, he had prostate cancer.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So, but he's wrote a book on prostate cancer. He, you know, basically they wanted to do surgery. He said no way, and he beat it by 18 years.
Yeah.
And he went all over the world and he talked to.
Didn't waste that borrowed time.
He definitely didn't.
Well, and then correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Andrew Campo mentioned that he was a bit of a pioneer when it came to like shooting from the bike. Like he was big with the camera units.
Yeah, he was the first one to ever put a camera on a motorcycle. So
that because that's a lot of what I do.
Yeah. So he did that at the Stroh's Mile, and forgive me if I can't remember whose bike he put it on.
Yeah.
But it was at a dirt track, and but yeah, he was incredible that way. And I was good friends with Sammy Tanner, and Sammy introduced me to Peter, and yeah, just we were at the Sacramento Mile, and we became good friends right out of the gate, and yeah, the man knows everybody.
Well, so what was that experience in the history that kind of like began to influence, cameras on bikes, cameras in races, cameras?
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know that. So he produced over 40 movies, motorcycle movies.
Oh wow!
And so he Take It to the Limit was his movie, and that was real popular at the time when Bruce Brown did On Any Sunday. In fact, he actually approached Bruce Brown a couple of years earlier talking about making a movie on motorcycles, and he didn't want to do it. He had just done On Any Sunday, the surf movie, and he didn't think it would take off, so he didn't say anything, or he just said, okay, nice, but I don't think it's going to work. And then he came out with On Any Sunday. So Peter was a little pissed about that.
Yeah.
But it's just the industry, and that's how that works. But a lot of people don't know that he's the one that got Mike Halewood to come back to the Isle of Man.
Okay.
After he'd retired. So Peter got him a bike, and he put a 7-pound camera on his head, and he narrated a lap of the Isle of Man, which is 37 3/4.
When at this point is he's just duct taping that sucker on, or what was?
He was a little more involved in that.
A little less crude.
Yeah, a little less crude, but it was still heavy back then.
Yeah.
Cameras and batteries were heavy, and they had to balance it out.
Yeah.
But Mike Halewood was able to cut a lap with a camera and narrating faster than most people qualify.
No kidding.
For the actual race, and so he decided to come back in '78, and he was on a Ducati, and he won that year.
There you go.
So, but yeah, that was in the movie Take It to the Limit.
Well, then, did Peter serve as kind of a consultant, or like, did people reach out to him or like, hey, so I saw that footage, that's incredible, we want to implement that into our rig, or did he ever go into business doing something like that, or was it?
He did everything he could. He was such a good promoter, and he was just a genuine human being, and he got taken advantage of, I'm quite sure. That's, he was waiting for that big break, and he didn't get it. If you've ever seen the footage of Kenny Roberts on the TZ Dirt Tracker at the Indy Mile, that was Peter's footage.
Okay,
so a lot of people, and I'm not saying any names or anything like that, but that footage was taken from him by
certain folks.
Industry.
Yeah.
And he never got credit for that. So he was going to go legal and do this, that, and the other. But hey, we got better lawyers than
that
you
cost
could ever.
Money, man. Yeah, I can relate to that.
But that was his footage. So if you've ever seen Kenny Roberts bouncing off those hay bales, guess who filmed it?
Yeah.
And he didn't get the credit that he deserved. So I mean, that's kind of the story of his life. But I love the man. He was my best friend.
Well, did you ever have conversations? Did he ever, as obviously with what things have come now between like GoPros and all the rigs that exist, did he ever talk about that and what that kind of reflection was, or?
Oh, absolutely. But was
he proud of it to say like?
Oh yeah. No, he was definitely proud of it. But yeah, it's if only the foresight was as good as the hindsight. It's kind of the conversations that we would have.
Yeah.
But no, he was just the people he knew, the things that he's done, just amazing. So we're just here trying to keep his memory alive, and
great.
we're promoting his book, Motorcycle Traveler. Like I said, it was 12 countries, 6 years, and just unbelievable experiences. And I was actually supposed to go with him to the Isle of Man, and I had my shop and didn't do it. We raced the Isle of Man in the 90s, so I've been there, but I wanted to do that trip with Peter, and just didn't have the opportunity.
Happens like that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about Peter. I think that's so cool, the background, with all the rigs and everything like that, because that directly affected me and how I've been shooting since then. So to have a connection to it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was such a big influence on a lot of people in the industry. So,
but he sounds like a kind of a guy that would, like, rather than monetizing and proprietizing, he was just more apt to give it away to serve the community than make it.
Yeah, these conversations that I would have with him over a beer, sitting at a local pub someplace, and he would, he would tell me all these different stories. But he was just a huge influence in the industry, and just the people that just name drop, and it was like, I got to go up to Kenny Roberts. I mean, we did his memorial service at Cadwell Park, and we spread his ashes on Barn Corner.
Cool.
And it was absolutely amazing. And Freddie Spencer came. What a gentleman! And he was a huge fan of Peter. A lot of racers today. Ben Bostrom. He accredits his career to like watching the movie, Take It to the Limit, and all the stuff. And so Peter did a podcast, and a lot of that stuff's out there.
Well, and now it's on you. Take the story to the limit, dude.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you for sharing all this. Why don't we take time and you can fill into this camera, that camera, where people can find this book, learn a little more about Peter Starr, which they've likely already seen.
Right. So it's come down to sink or swim when it comes to these books, because Kawasaki wanted to get rid of them. And we're going to be handing them out here at the show. We're not necessarily selling them, but
yeah, I'm proud to say I have one.
Yeah. So, any donations would be gladly accepted for the family, and we're in a booth, but we're taking a bunch to the Trailblazers banquet in Carson, California next month, and unfortunately we don't have an outlet for where to get this book and how to buy it. I mean, it's a wonderful book, and I wish I was better off.
Man, I wish I knew anything about distributing publications. I know nothing.
Yeah. So we've got 2 pallets here.
Yeah.
There's going to be 2 pallets going to the Trailblazers, but there's still another 4 pallets, which are 1,600 books.
That's a lot of books.
1,600 books that we're trying to keep his memory alive and get him into as many hands as possible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it. That's what it's all about.
We got someone
right
back, get it on the Barber Motorsports. That's a place I feel like this book belongs.
Yeah, and we did talk to them, and it's there's a whole lot of bureaucracy involved, and which
can't everybody just chill out a little bit? We're trying to do cool shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly. So,
well, Hot Dog, I appreciate you coming on and talking about Peter and sharing his memory. The book is great, the photos are great, and honestly, it is really cool to me to feel like I have a small connection to arguably somebody that has directly affected my life substantially. I can't tell how many thousands of dollars I've lost in the streets, just shooting with bikes and cameras and all the things, and to think that he was a pioneer of it, that's really cool to learn.
He did over 40 motorcycle movies, and he authored 6 books.
That's crazy.
So this is just one of them. But our love for Peter will always be, and this is just a way for us to try and keep his memory alive.
All right, man. Well, you heard it here. Go check it out. Peter Starr, motorcycle traveler, 12 countries, 6 years, and a lifetime of experiences.
Thanks, Sam.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Cheers. Huh? How'd that